Today I want to talk to you about one of my favorite new brokers that I've been personally adding to my investment portfolios. I have a number of brokers that I've been using and I covered on this channel, but today I want to talk about Trading 212, which I recently added to my portfolio because I really believe, just like in investing, it's super important to diversify also the amounts of brokers that you have. Because if you put all your eggs or investments, so to say, into one broker and that broker goes bust, you might be at risk of losing all your investments. Now, granted, most brokers do have some kind of insurance in place, and it really depends from broker to broker. But I still think, just like with your money at the bank, I wouldn't leave all my funds in one bank, but I always diversify. So the same is true with brokers, and that's why Trading 212 is quickly becoming my third broker of choice. And in this video today, I just want to run you through the platform, show you what it can do, what it has to offer, and the main benefits and appeal, what got me into Trading 212 in the first place, so that you generally have an idea what it's all about and whether it's worth for you to sign up. The good thing about Trading 212, they also have a web presence, which a lot of the new brokers don't have. So they do have a website where you can log in and do the entire trades and really have all the insights. But of course, they also have the app, which I guess most people are using, and I'm going to be reviewing in this tutorial. But if you want me to do a review on the full website, I can do that as well. But before I'm going to give you a full tutorial of the app itself, let me just give you a quick overview of what Trading 212 is all about. So this is the website, and the first thing you're going to be greeted with is arguably the biggest selling point, and that's commission-free trading for everyone. And honestly, there aren't really many brokers out there that still offer complete commission-free trading. I'll show you the entire fee breakdown in a second, which is very transparent, and I really like that. So that is really one of the biggest appeal for me personally, and many others obviously who use the platform, that all the stocks and ETFs, so it's not just stocks but also ETFs, are commission free, and you can buy fractional shares which are also commission free. So honestly, especially once you start with smaller amount, that can be very attractive, because other brokers that I used in the past, they would force you to buy a full share of an ETF, for example, and some of the ETFs can be 100 euros or more, and that can become very restrictive, especially if you're just starting off. Over the years, Trading 212 has definitely become one of the biggest platforms out there. You can see here over 2 million funded accounts, and they have over 3 billion pounds in client assets and cash sitting with them. So that's really a testimony to their good track record over time. Obviously, the fact that you can buy stocks instantly, which is the way it should be. But honestly, also, I really love the interface. I'll show you in a second when I'm running through the platform. And something very cool is what they call pie investing. You can make your own pie, your mini ETF, so to say, and either invest a certain amount into that, where you have your number of stocks in there in ETFs, so you can compose your own little mini ETF, so to say, and dollar cost average every single month into it. Or you can emulate another person's pie and invest it like that. So that's really cool. I'll show you how that works in a second. And the great thing is here, you can invest from as little as £1 or euro, and you can buy fractional shares. So as I said, especially when you're just starting off investing, you don't want to invest 1,000 euros a month necessarily, but you want to just start playing around. You can buy Tesla or Apple from as little as €1 a pound and start to get accustomed to investing, to trading. And many other brokers actually charge you €1 to make a trade, right? So here you can invest €1 into Tesla if you wanted to and pay nothing for it. So that's really cool and very attractive in my eyes. Another great benefit is you can actually earn interest on your uninvested cash. Now, granted, it's not as high as some of the other apps I'm using, but still, I'm getting 1.25% on my euros. That's per year, obviously. And, it does add up. I'll show you in a second how much I'm getting currently. But that's really nice to have if you have some cash sitting in the sidelines, because honestly, in my bank account right now, I get 0. So using an app like Trading 212, at least I get some money on my money, obviously. And the great thing, your funds are protected. I'll show you in a second. And you'll be having access to over 12,000 stocks and ETFs. So once again, really putting it in a class of their own, compared to many other brokers out there, because many other brokers are much more restrictive in terms of markets and stocks and ETFs that they're offering. So 12,000 of those, honestly, most likely you'll be finding anything you're looking for through that app. Right, with this, let's have a quick look into the fees, because obviously that's always very important when you make a decision as to which broker to choose. So first of all, you need to differentiate if you want to invest, like buying stocks and ETFs. Then you want to open a Trading 212 account under Invest, but they also have a Trading 212 CFD account. So that's basically if you want to trade CFDs, options, etc. So then you go with that. But honestly, most likely, myself included, you want to go with the Invest version, because I just want to buy and hold, maybe sell once in a while, but stocks and ETFs, I'm not interested into trading optional CFDs. So in this case, I want to focus really on the investment part of Trading 212. So here you can see, obviously very clearly, trading commissions are completely free of charge, which is amazing. Next up, we have custody fee, which is also free. And many other brokers actually have this hidden charge, which they call a custody fee. Basically, just by holding on to your funds, they will charge you a small fee. And it does add up over the years. Sometimes it's a small percentage of your total portfolio. So as the portfolio grows, your custody fee can actually become quite expensive. Then we come to the FX fee, and that's the only real fee that they will be charging you, and that's 0.15%, which is actually still very attractive and in line with many other brokers or other exchanges online. So that's the only fee. If you have, for example, euros or pounds in your accounts and you want to buy stocks in the US, for example, obviously you would have to exchange it to dollars. In that case, there will be a 0.15% exchange fee, but I think that's really reasonable. But of course, if you invest into your own native currency, then it will be free of charge because there won't be any need for any currency conversion. Also, in terms of deposit and withdrawals, deposits obviously free of charge. That's the case for most brokers. You can also make deposits via your cards, Google Pay, Apple Pay. That's free up to 2,000 euros forever. That's the total amount. Anything over that will be charged at 0.7%. So honestly, in order to get started, once you sign up, I actually used my Apple Pay account because the money was there within a second. I just selected Apple Pay, double-clicked, used Face ID, and boom, my money was there immediately. Now, obviously, later on, once I was happy with the account, played around and I liked it, I sent more money via bank transfer, and that, of course, is free of charge, as well as withdrawals. Once again, some other brokers actually do charge you when you want to take out your money, which I think is a very sneaky move, and Trading 212 is very transparent and makes it free of charge. In terms of interest, they also highlight it over here. Then you can also earn interest via share lending. I can make a whole separate video about what it is, but that's a nice addition to make additional income over there. You can also get the statements free of charge. Account closure is free of charge, which honestly, it's so strange that other brokers charge you to close the account. But yeah, once again, I really like that. Here you also see the minimum transaction, which are really bare minimum. Less than that obviously wouldn't make sense. So really $1, pound, euro for everything. I really enjoyed it. And they also make it very clear any taxes and levies. And obviously these are subject to the various tax jurisdictions, not because of Trading 212. So I really like that they make it so clear and easy to see. Many other brokers had to really dig deep into their fee sheet to find out how much it's going to cost me. They make very front and center, and I really like that. Now, an important factor of choosing a right broker is, of course, how are your funds protected? And they once again make it very simple and straightforward. Obviously, once again, they have been profitable since they operated almost 20 years ago. So that's already really reassuring because some of the newer brokers, they've just started 1-2 years ago. And you don't know, how sustainable are they long term? Are they profitable? But they have been. Now, how are the funds specifically protected? They make it also very clear. You have two entities. Most people who sign up from the UK obviously are part under the Trading 212 UK entity. And with them, your assets are covered by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme, or the FSCS, and the compensation for that is all the way up to £85,000. So that's really good to know. If you're signing up in the EEA, European Economic Area, then obviously you will go under the Trading 212 Markets Ltd. And here your assets are covered by the Investors Compensation Fund, ICF, and it's registered in Cyprus, and you'll be compensated up to 20,000 euros. Now, that's a little bit less than what people get in the UK. However, they make it also very clear that there's an additional insurance up to 1 million euros per client underwritten by Lloyd's of London. So that's really good to know. So if you're getting started, if you live in Europe, then up to 20k, you can easily put your funds there because you know they're going to be safe and protected. Obviously, they have a long track record also, so I really like that. Anything on top of it, then obviously, it's reassuring that they have this additional insurance. So even more about funds and asset protection, they talk about here how they segregate the funds, which is always important, and also mentioning where they're holding the funds, as they say over here, across multiple major EU and UK banks, including JP Morgan and Barclays, which honestly is really reassuring to read. Another thing I'm very happy about Trading 212, as they write over here, we work with Interactive Brokers, which is one of the largest brokers in the world, to safeguard our assets. And as I'm a big Interactive Brokers advocate and user myself, that's actually where I have my biggest portfolio, that's really good to see that they're working in conjunction with them, because that's really one of the most trusted brokers in the world. So they also using the infrastructure and working with them to safeguard their assets in addition to the bank. So that's really good to see. With this, let me give you a full rundown through the Trading 212 app. Quick reminder, this is not investment advice and your capital is at risk. I'm just here to show you a tool. It's ultimately your responsibility to invest your money wisely. All right, so get started. Very easy. Download it from Apple or Google Store. You just go over there, Trading 212. You see the app over there. It's very simple. You download it, and it literally took me a couple of minutes to get signed up. It obviously will ask you for a couple of documents to prove your identity. You take a picture of your passport or driver's license, and honestly, within a matter of minutes, I was approved and good to go. And from there, I could start funding my account and basically start trading. So it's a really seamless process, which I really enjoy. Obviously, you can see a number of apps that I'm using, but I want to run you through my Trading 212 app. So you open it over here, and that's your home screen, what you're going to be greeted with. So here are all the popular stocks that are right now trending, so to say. On the left, I can click over there. Also, I have my watch list in case you have a watch list, and obviously you can very simply add it by clicking it over there, but I'm going to leave it as that. And yeah, it's very nice. You can scroll over there. What's hot, for example, in the UK, you get certain UK stocks. So it's very easy to explore also new markets. What's trending, upcoming earnings, ETFs, and you even create your own watch list and add stocks to it. If you want to have like a German watch list, for example, you can do that very simply as well. On the top of the screen, obviously, you can see over here, that's my balance. Right now, I have over 18,000 euros sitting there, which I can invest. But at the same time, while it's not being invested, I'm actually getting interest on it. I'll show you in a second how that works. And you can see at the top also, I'm right now in the investment part of Trading 212. You can also click into the CFD. And if you're under that, you will be able to trade options, other CFDs. And I'm not really interested in that because that's not the way I invest. But if you're interested in that, then you can obviously do this. But I prefer sticking with normal, regular investing. If you live in the UK, you would have a third tab, which basically is your ISA tab. Because basically people in the UK can invest, I believe it's up to £20,000 a year tax-free, which is really exciting, obviously. So you can add some money, invest it, and all that would be tax-free. And that's really nice. But unfortunately in Europe, we don't have that. So if you live in the UK, obviously it makes sense. For me and others living in Europe, you're just going to go with the investing tab over there. If I wanted to deposit additional funds, I would click the blue button over here. And then obviously the first time you do it, you add your bank details. I already added my bank over there. And then as I said, you can add with Apple Pay. Just click Apple Pay over there, select the amount, and then you add it, and boom, it took me a matter of seconds to come. Just keep in mind, all the way up to 2,000 euros is free of charge. Anything over, they charge you a small fee, as I showed at the beginning. Right, now from here, it's very simple to get started and buy your first stock basically. In this example, let's say Tesla. Obviously it's very popular. Everybody wants to own a bit of Tesla. So let's click into this. You can see immediately what it is. It shows you the stock abbreviation, TSLA, stock, and it's listed in the US. It shows you the current price. It also shows the variance over the previous time period. You can see at the bottom over here, I can select the time interval. I can have 1 day, I can have 1 week, and I like that I can immediately see the changes in price since then. For 3 months, 1 year, I can see that it went down by 4% year on year. Another feature I really enjoy that many other brokers don't offer is actually the fact to see when the markets are open. Obviously right now, if I click on after hours, I can see that right now the market is not open because it's the weekend when I record this video. And you can see here when the market's open, etc. You can also click on market closed. It will show me when the Nasdaq, in this case the Nasdaq is where Tesla is being traded, will open, which is in 1 day and 2 hours. And if it's open, it will show me how much longer it's open. So then I know, can I still make a trade or will it be the next day? And that's really an easy way to know because sometimes you live in different parts of the world. I mean, Trading 212 is available over 100 countries. So you might be living outside the US and you don't know, are they still operating or not? So that's a very easy way to see what's happening. You can also click over here on the arrows if you want to enlarge the graph. And I believe that will bring you to the trading view over there. So you can turn it around. You can have the full insights. And yeah, if you want to have a bit more data on the graphs, it's more for day trading, I suppose, then that might be quite interesting. For me, I'm happy with this one. You can change it to candlesticks if you want to, but once again, I just like a simple graph as I'm investing long term. You can also change the time interval over here. So yeah, very simple but powerful graph in my opinion. If you scroll on further, you can have price alerts. If you wanted to say any price movement, you click over here and then you say, notify me if the price goes down by 5%, make this recurrent, set price alert, and boom. So now when it goes down by 5%, you're going to be notified. And then obviously, if you're interested, you could buy. But in my case, I don't want to have any notifications there. And then if you scroll down further, you have some really good infos and statistics. And I think that's also always very powerful because there are a lot of websites out there where you could find the information, but having it integrated and baked into your trading app, I think just takes the friction out. Because if you have to go to 2 or 3 different websites to understand, the value of the company, it makes it very painful. So here, you really have the most important things at a glance. If you want more, you click into more ratios, obviously, and then you can really see all the information that you might be interested in, management, effectiveness, and some really good financials that you think that really could help you to make the right decision to either invest or not invest. If you go further down in financials, you have some good graphs as well, the balance sheets, cash flow, so really easy to see and visualize what is happening with them financially. You can click into this to get even more insights, quarterly, annually, which quarter. So really, really good, and I like that. About is also good. Of course, in the case of Tesla, I guess everybody knows what they're all about. But if you invest in the company they haven't heard about, you have a little abstract of what they're all about over there. And then history, in case you bought stocks before, you would have here the different history. You can see here I had a canceled buy order. I'll show you in a second how that works. But yeah, you would have here all the historic buys and sells or dividends in case you would have with that particular stock. And you also have the instrument details, which is good. Once again, really seeing, where is the company listed, because some of the stocks you buy, you think they're listed in one part, but then you might buy the same stock just listed in another stock exchange, which can make sense in some cases in case you don't want to be exchanging your currency into dollars, for example, you can also buy a lot of the companies maybe in London or in Germany, etc. So it's good to see, what you're actually buying over there. Plus, you also have a few documents. In this case, you have an annual report there. Some stocks I've seen, they really have a lot of documents there. So that's also interesting in case you want to go through that. So how it will work in case I want to buy Tesla. As I said, right now is the weekend when I'm doing this video, so the stock markets are closed. But still, I can show you in principle how it will work. You click obviously on buy. Over here, it will pull up the buy order, and from here you can very simply select the different types of market orders. I don't want to go too much into detail. Most people, I think it's relevant, a market order, which basically buys the stock at the current price the stock is being traded for. Of course, you could also limit a stop or stop limit order. So let's say I'm happy with the price. So as soon as the market's open, I want to buy Tesla and I want to buy, let's say, for 100 euros. I can also click on the arrow over here. Instead of value, I can buy number of shares. But I think it's easier just to buy a certain amount in monetary terms rather than shares, because shares you would have to calculate how much is the value of 6 shares. So you would have to multiply 6 times 259. So I think it's easier. You just commit to amount that you want to buy, in my case 100 euros. And that's basically all. Then you click on review order over here and it will pull up a summary of the order. You will see the share value that I'll be getting, number of shares, commission is free. There is a small FX fee. The fee is 0.15%. So of 100 euros, it's basically 15 cents, which I honestly think it's very, very good. And yeah, in total, it will be 100 euros. And if I'm happy with this, I'll go ahead. Now, if I go down over here, you can see pending orders. Obviously, as the markets are closed, it is pending. And it will automatically be triggered once the market opens on Monday at the right time in the US, obviously. So if I'm happy with this, I can just close the app and on Monday, it will automatically be triggered. But in my case, I'm actually not keen to buy any Tesla right now. So I will just click on the X over here, cancel, and boom, the order will be deleted and it will not be triggered anymore. And that's really all there is to that. Very straightforward. Then I can click over here into my portfolio. Here you can see right now, obviously, I just started playing around with it, so I don't really have much invested yet. I only have my deposit funds, but the more stocks I will have over here, you can start seeing your investments adding up over there. It also has a nice breakdown of your allocations. And of course, you can see over here how over time your portfolio is hopefully growing. So here you have your investments, but then you can also click into pies. And pies is something really interesting. As I said at the beginning of the video, it's almost like making your own ETF. Basically, you can create your own pie, which you can add various stocks and ETFs to, and then dollar cost average and auto invest every single month. So right now I have Apple in my pie. I could, for example, also say I want to add Tesla to the pie. So I add Tesla to my pie. And let's say I also want to add Microsoft in this case. Click the plus over here. Right, so now I have those 3 companies over here. I can change the percentage. Let's say I want to buy 50% of Apple. I want to buy 30% of Tesla and 20% of Microsoft. It also shows you the average annual return. Obviously, that's historic return. That can't predict the future. But having invested into this, that would have been my annual return over the years. So that's good to see. Then you click on next. Then you see auto invest or manually. It's up to you. Let's say auto invest. And then click over here. And you say how many years, what's your initial investment. And it also projects, how much it might be worth in the future. Now, once again, this is just projected based on past historic returns. That's not a guarantee for your future return. So really keep that in mind. It just gives you an idea of how much it could be worth potentially. And then if you're happy with this, you go ahead, you give it a name, let's call it Kai's Pie. Next over here, ready to go. And here would have a quick summary of what it is. Obviously, you can cancel it anytime. When you see the 5 years, don't get scared. You can just delete it and remove it. But yeah, you would be good to go. And you could have a daily, weekly, monthly triggering that order and automatically invest into it. I like to do it manually, but if you want to have it as a set and forget it solution, I think it's a really, really good option to have. But if you don't feel so comfortable creating your own pie, maybe you want to get inspired by other people's pie. And that's something also very interesting. You can go into the pie library. And here you see some really cool pies of other people. For example, you can click onto the top pies out there that are very trending right now. And you can see over here 57,000 people invested into the almost daily dividend pie. So when you click onto this over here, basically the whole point of this pie is that you get pretty much every day some kind of dividend payment paid out to you. So that's really interesting. Also people commenting on it. So it really has this social component baked into Trading 212, which you might like better than jumping around on Twitter. Reading these things, you have them all baked into here. Yeah, and if you scroll down over here, you can see the slices. Basically, they have 50 companies right now here, and then the allocation. All of them have a value of 2%. So basically, the total pie is divided into 50 pieces at 2% each, which makes 100%. So you can see, do you like it? Do you not like it? And yeah, really, really interesting. Obviously, have a look around. You can see also dividend pies or growth pies. So especially once you start investing and you want to emulate other successful investors, I think can be a great way to get started. Now, personally, I enjoy investing so much that I do my own research and pick my own stocks. But once again, it can be a great addition just to get the ball rolling and follow what other successful people potentially are doing. Right, with this, let's hop over to the third tab over here, which is the search tab. And from here, you can basically search any kind of company you're looking for. Of course, I also like the filters already in terms of stocks and ETFs. You can look for most popular, dividend or growth, high volatility, low volatility. It's kind of these filters already. When you click, for example, into dividend, you can see here some of the most popular dividend stocks out there. It just makes it easier for you to get familiar with companies. If you're really starting from scratch and have no idea, that can be very easy to get started. And the same is true for ETFs, which I really like because ETFs are basically professional pies if you want to. And I really like that. For example, if you click into most popular, and then obviously you can see over here some of the most popular. Most of them are from Vanguard, and actually also the one that I'm using, which is the Vanguard S&P 500, the VUSA, which is the one I'm also investing. You can just click into this over here, and then we'll pull it up. And once again, from there, you can easily buy and start investing into that particular ETF. Now, one thing to keep in mind, obviously you want to buy the ETF or stock at the right stock exchange. So in my case, I'm actually buying the VUSA not in London as the one that just showed to us, but I buy the one in Amsterdam. You can see here, that's the second one. So it's basically the same ETF, but one is based in London, another one is based in Amsterdam. So for me, I rather buy the one in Amsterdam because in this case, I can buy it with my euros and I don't incur any exchange fees. So for me, that would be the much preferred option. If of course you live in the UK, you're having pounds, then you want to buy the one in London. So that's something to look at, but I really like that they clearly identify what you're buying. Once again, if you scroll down, instrument details, and you will see here over there, Euronext Amsterdam. That's where I'm actually buying the one. That brings me back to the point. I actually showed you how to buy a stock, but if you want to sell, that's just as easy. Let's go back into my investments. Let's say Adidas, I want to sell. I click into that stock. And then obviously, in this case, if you already own the stock, you see the sell button. I'll click on this over here. And once again, you have different orders that you can place. But let's say the market order. So I want to be selling whatever shares I have at the current market price. Click on review the order. Over there, we'll pull up a summary. And I can see here no commission because I bought it with euro. I can sell it in euro, and that's what I'll be getting. Click send sell order, and boom. Once again, once the market opens on Monday, it will be sold and I'll be getting the money right away, which I can then withdraw if I want to or invest into something else. So very straightforward, very easy. But once again, in this case, I don't want to sell it. So I'm just going to exit out of it, click over here and then cancel. And boom. Now, actually, I didn't buy Adidas with my own money, but actually I got it as a free share from somebody who signed up with my link. And if you also want to get a free share all the way up to 100 euros, then use my link in the description below, sign up to Trading 212, register your account, send some money into your account. And once you've done that, basically, you're going to get a free share. Both of us will benefit. There's nothing to lose for you. Check it out. It's completely free of charge. And if you don't like it, you can just sell the share, withdraw the money, close your account, and you're good to go, which will all be free of charge. So why not give it a go, check it out. And the good thing is also once you are actually registered, you can do the same. You can just click over here on the last menu item, click on get free share, and basically what you want to do is share the link with your friends or family, and if they sign up, both you and them will get a free share all the way up to 100 euros or pounds if you live in the UK. So honestly, nothing to lose, win-win scenario, and as I said, a really great app, so give it a go. Right, next up we come to the social aspect of it. As I showed you before, we have the pies over here, but in the middle you have the communities also, which is quite interesting. So you can join different communities, for example, dividend communities, and all the things over here are basically related towards dividend talk, etc. So that's really interesting if you want to just keep in the loop of what's happening in dividend investing, etc. And obviously others and hot and top. So really, really interesting. Plus you also have a feed of anything going on Trading 212. And it's really kind of like a FinTwit, I would say, financial Twitter. And you have it all consolidated. You can like, you can comment, and it's really good interface. It's really a good community to interact with like-minded people, and I quite like that. Once in a while I have a look at it, and I really like how the app combines everything in one app rather than having to jump around different areas of the internet. So it's really nice that it's all in one app. Then we have notifications over here, which is really straightforward. Obviously, basically here you're going to get any notifications that are related to your account. Whenever you buy something, sell something, you get a free share, you make a deposit, you withdraw, all of it will be here. So it's a good timeline, and you can obviously customize it if you click over here, and then you can see, do you also want to get an email or not, only app notifications. So I really like how they allow you to make it feel as comfortable for you, because some apps, they spam you with all those emails. Here it's very simple to opt out of them and only have it in the app or have no notifications at all. So it's really up to you, but I like overall the way they've done it. And lastly, let's head over to the settings. Here you can do all the various things you have to fund your account. You have some videos, etc. Economic calendar is something very unique. I haven't seen many other apps. Obviously, right now it's the weekend, but if I go to Monday, I can see, for example, what's happening on Monday, what's happening on Tuesday. I can get an idea. For example, I didn't know in Finland, I can see the unemployment rate if you're interested in that, and you can see historic changes and so on. So some really good insights, honestly. There's also, for example, GDP numbers coming up, inflation numbers, you will see them over here. United States consumer confidence, so that's quite interesting. You can see that as well, how that develops over time. So some really good points, and might be worthwhile every day to have a look on what's happening and stay up to date. Price alerts you can set over here, history. Once again, that are all your various historic events. You can have your orders, your dividends, transactions, all of them would be listed over here. Of course, you can also click into settings over here and have all the various settings. Even the theme you can change. Normally it's white, but as you might know, I always like dark themes. So the first thing I change is to dark because I just like dark themes in general. And one good thing I mentioned at the beginning of the video is earning interest on cash. Now, granted, other apps do pay slightly higher interest rate, but right now I'm still getting 1.25% on my 18K. So for the last 3 days, I only started. So basically right now, if I kept the money here, I would get around 20 euros paid to me in interest every single month. Now, I know that's not world-changing money, but still, it pays for some of my subscriptions. And why not, right? Previously at my bank account, I got 0 for it. And yeah, using an app like this, obviously, at least I make some money with it. And obviously, once I see a good opportunity to buy something, I can use those funds to right away buy some stocks. And the great thing is also it's paid every single day. Some other apps, they accrue daily and pay you monthly. But here you actually get it paid into your account every single day. So over time, it will also compound a little bit. And yeah, so that's really good and nice to keep in mind. And as I mentioned to you before, get the free share. Honestly, there's no reason not to get it. Please, if you haven't signed up yet, then use my link in the description below. As I said, it will benefit you, it will benefit me. You can get a free share all the way up to 100 euros. So why not to sign up? If you don't like it, you can always close your account. So there you have it, really a top level overview of the Trading 212 app. I honestly really enjoy the interface. It's much better than so many other brokers out there, especially interactive brokers, which I've been using for many years. But the interface is so clunky compared to Trading 212. It's so much smoother, so much easier to buy and sell. And I really enjoy the overall experience of the app. I also love that they're commission free and very transparent about all their charges, which actually is only one in terms of currency exchange fee. Other than that, everything is free of charge, depositing, withdrawing, buying, selling. I really love that, and honestly, it's one of the few that really offers that. So for me personally, I'm still going to be using my interactive brokers account for all my dividend investing. I also use my Lightyear account, which I use to get higher interest rate on my cash right now. Plus now I'm adding Trading 212 to the mix, and that's why I said at the beginning of the video, it's good to diversify, even in case one of those brokers will default and go bust, which is highly unlikely. At least you diversify your funds and you make sure you stay under the protection limit the various brokers are offering. Next up, check out this video over here. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel. It means the world to me. As always, guys, stay healthy, get wealthy, and I see you in the next one. Ciao.